Picture a row of impossibly thin skyscrapers piercing the clouds over Manhattan. This is Billionaires Row. It lines the southern edge of Central Park, mainly along 57th Street. These aren't just tall buildings. They're monuments to extreme wealth, designed as the world's most exclusive addresses. Their glass walls shimmer above the city, reflecting ambition and engineering marvel. From the street, they look like needles threaded into the sky, so slender they seem to defy gravity. The promise, a life of unmatched luxury, privacy, and prestige for the global elite. Each apartment is a palace in the sky, with panoramic views of New York City and Central Park. Inside, no expense was spared. Rare marble, soaring ceilings, and kitchens filled with top-tier appliances. These homes were status symbols, sanctuaries high above the city's chaos. Developers targeted billionaires and international elites, selling not just homes but trophy assets. Amenities rivaled six-star hotels, private restaurants, exclusive health clubs, and 24/7 concierge services. The message was clear. Living here meant you'd reached the pinnacle. For a time, these towers were celebrated as the ultimate symbol of New York's power and allure. The race to build Billionaires Row began after the 2008 financial crisis, as a new class of super-rich sought safe havens for their wealth. Developers seized the moment, buying land and air rights to build ever-taller towers. Height meant better views and higher prices. The first super-tall, 157, made headlines when a penthouse sold for over $100 million in 2014. This sale sparked a frenzy, with developers and brokers chasing global buyers from Russia, China, and beyond. The engineering challenges were immense. Slender towers had to sway in the wind, and construction logistics were daunting. But the potential profits outweighed the risks. Each new project promised even more lavish amenities and spectacular views. For the world's wealthiest, these apartments were investments, status symbols, and safe havens. Buying a piece of the Manhattan skyline became like acquiring a rare work of art. Most buyers weren't seeking a home, they wanted a secure asset in the financial capital of the world. For a few years it seemed the sky was truly the limit, but this gold rush would soon reveal its cracks. For many buyers, anonymity was key. Instead of using their own names, they bought through shell companies, LLCs that concealed their identities. This legal secrecy made it nearly impossible to know who owned New York's priciest real estate. For some, it was about privacy, for others a way to quietly move money out of their home countries. Critics warned this anonymity enabled money laundering, turning luxury condos into safe deposit boxes in the sky. Many apartments were never lived in, just held as financial instruments. Pristine kitchens and staged bedrooms sat unused. The real value was in the asset, not the experience. Owners might visit for a few days a year, or never at all. Investigations revealed that in some towers, over half the units were owned by anonymous LLCs. Billionaires Row wasn't built for New Yorkers. It was a private bank for the global elite. The lights stayed off, because for many, the apartment's job was simply to sit empty and appreciate. As the towers rose, New Yorkers noticed something odd. At night, their windows stayed dark. Dozens of floors would be completely black, confirming suspicions that many homes were uninhabited. Staff told stories of empty hallways and unused amenities, luxury spaces that felt eerily deserted. The promise of a vibrant, exclusive community faded into silence. Public perception shifted. Once symbols of success, the towers became icons of inequality and waste. Activists coined the term "lights-out luxury" to describe these empty monuments. A 2017 census found that about a third of Midtown apartments, including Billionaires Row, were vacant most of the year. These were not homes but pied-à-terre, rarely used and often left dark. The towers stood as glittering ghosts, contributing little to the city's social fabric. Their emptiness became a daily reminder of a city divided by wealth. The sight of empty towers and rising rents fueled a political backlash. Lawmakers proposed a pied-à-terre tax on high-value non-primary residences to discourage empty investments and fund affordable housing. New laws targeted ownership secrecy, requiring LLCs to disclose their members to law enforcement. The era of anonymous, no-questions-asked real estate deals was ending. These changes, along with global economic shifts and sanctions, cooled the market for ultra-luxury condos. Fewer foreign buyers meant more unsold units and falling demand. The towers became symbols of inequality, sparking protests and public resentment. The narrative flipped. Once celebrated, these buildings were now criticized as evidence of a broken system. Developers faced a tougher environment with new regulations and a wary public. The gold rush was over. Billionaires Row had reached a turning point. As the market cooled, problems inside the towers surfaced. Residents at 432 Park Avenue, one of the most expensive buildings, sued over creaking noises, water damage, and swaying in the wind. Elevators broke down, pipes vibrated, and floods damaged multiple apartments. The engineering marvels that made these towers possible also created new headaches. High winds caused unsettling movement, stressing internal systems. Maintenance costs soared, falling on fewer owners as more units sat empty. Common charges rose, adding to the financial burden. Resale values dropped, some owners took significant losses. The dream of a flawless sky palace was shattered by lawsuits and bad press. The tower's reputation suffered, and the idea of a guaranteed safe investment evaporated. Billionaires Row was starting to look like a risky gamble. The once frenzied market for Billionaires Row has cooled dramatically. Developers are left with a glut of unsold units and shrinking demand. Deep discounts and creative sales tactics like shadow renting and combining units are now common. The buyer profile has shifted: fewer foreign investors, more domestic buyers seeking primary homes, but stories of swaying towers and lawsuits have made many wary. Luxury buyers now look to established neighborhoods like Tribeca or the West Village. Experts doubt New York will see another building boom like this. The unique mix of global capital and lax regulation is gone. Many units may sell at a loss, or remain empty for years. The era of the super-tall, ultra-exclusive condo as the ultimate status symbol appears over. What remains is a skyline dotted with half-empty towers, a legacy of ambition and excess. Billionaires Row tells the story of two New Yorks. High above, empty luxury apartments serve as investment vehicles for the global rich. Down below, ordinary New Yorkers face a severe housing crisis. Rents soar, affordable homes are scarce, and homelessness grows. The contrast is stark, vast, unused spaces for a few, while many struggle for shelter. Resources poured into these towers could have addressed urgent housing needs. Instead, they created a vertical playground for billionaires, fueling resentment and frustration. Developers argue the towers create jobs and tax revenue, but critics say empty apartments drain local economies. When homes sit empty, owners don't support neighborhood businesses, creating dead zones at street level. The debate raises fundamental questions. Who is the city for? Should development serve global investors or local residents? The empty towers force New Yorkers to confront these questions. They stand as symbols of a global trend: housing as a commodity, not a right. With vacancies mounting, the future of Billionaires Row is uncertain. Some propose higher taxes on empty units to push owners to sell or rent, funding affordable housing. Others suggest converting unsold condos into rentals or, more radically, affordable housing, though this is technically challenging. The experience has already changed New York's approach to development, with new rules emphasizing community benefit and affordability. The era of building for anonymous global elites is ending. The empty towers ask, are they symbols of ambition or monuments to greed? How New York responds will shape its identity for years to come. The city stands at a crossroads, between being a haven for global capital or a livable home for all.